Okay, and then the program also covers pre-departure, arrival, and end-of-stay orientations. So while you're in country, we also get some orientations. When they say orientations, they just kind of sit you down and they explain some stuff. Like my first, when I first got to Bosnia and Herzegovina, we stayed in Sarajevo for 3 days. It was lovely. We stayed at a 5-star hotel with really good food, breakfast, everything, like buffet every day. It was fantastic. And then our orientation was just like a couple hours of them giving us a new SIM card for our phone and showing us how to work ATMs and walking around Sarajevo and like, hey, like how do you ask someone for directions if you're lost, or just basic things that would like adhere to you having to live in a foreign country. And then we have so pre-departure, arrival, and end of stay orientation. There's also a mid orientation. So when we have Christmas break, um we are all going to Vlasic, which is a mountain. It's a ski mountain, actually. So we're staying at a ski resort for 2 days, just to like everyone from Bosnia and Herzegovina. So the 5 that are in Banja Luka and the 4 that are in Sarajevo, we're all meeting up together and doing a little meetup, just checking in on each other, how each other's doing. And then they'll do like a pre-departure or just an orientation, just basic information. I mean, COVID is it's still a thing, obviously here, and especially but so that's basically the only thing that we talk about is like, hey, are you guys being safe? That's it. And then at end of stay orientation, we're gonna go back to Sarajevo, probably stay in another 5-star hotel. I mean, it's government money, so they're gonna make sure we're taken care of. And then so it does cover tuition and academic program costs. It costs like 50 marks to just enroll in my Catholic school that I'm in. Um, it's not really a Catholic school. Like, there are no nuns. I don't have to wear a uniform. People have purple, red, blue hair. Like, it's really a regular school. They just call it a Catholic school because I think they get funding when they call it a religious school. But aside from that, so they will pay for anything that your school needs, like money wise. And then educational and cultural programming, including program travel. So while you're on program, your coordinator, so it's someone that's from Banja Luka or from Sarajevo or just from Bosnia, that is works for the American embassy. So they know the region very well, obviously, and then they take you on trips. So we recently went to Jajce, which means a little egg, but that is where some treaty organization was signed. But anyway, it has really pretty waterfalls. And um, so we got to learn history about Jajce. And then we went down to Travnik, which was well, I think I already talked about it. I mean, it was the capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina when it was Yugoslavia, but it was beautiful. And the coffee, I mean, coffee culture here is amazing. And it's kind of different because, like, so the kids from Sarajevo call it Bosnian coffee, but since I'm from Republika Srpska or Banja Luka, we call it Turkish coffee because technically, when the Turks colonized Bosnia and Herzegovina, they gave them their coffee, so technically it's Turkish coffee, but it doesn't really matter. It's all the same thing. It's really, and it was a mark and a half for all. I have a picture at the end to show you, but it came with giant coffee, a Turkish delight, so like that sweet like cube, but Turkish delight, and some sugar cubes and a cigarette and a matchbox. Don't I mean they gave everyone a cigarette, so it was just kind of fun to just be like, oh, they gave us a cigarette, haha. But yeah, it was and all of that was like 75 US cents if you do the conversion. So it's just a really interesting cultural experience to do that, all that kind of stuff. And then it covers in-country staff support, so you always have access and are always accessible for a coordinator to be with you all the time. You can call her whenever or him whenever. They mine is has a major in psychology and has worked with like so many children, so she's really good. And so there's always like support for you and like your host family. And if something, I know a couple people that have had just host family switches just because the click wasn't right, and it's not anything against the host family. I mean, you just don't get along with everyone. That wasn't on my program though. That was on previous programs. Everyone in my program, we all get along very well with our host families, so it's awesome. But and then host family and other housing accommodations. Yes, again, they will switch you if something happens, but it rarely ever does happen. And the past couple stories I've heard from people switching host families has just been because the host family had to like move to France or something, and so they were like, "Sorry, we can't really host you anymore." So that's all. That's the only thing I've heard of. Nothing like they don't get along or anything like that. So